product packaging is a great way how to differentiate on Amazon. But what are the different things that we could do regarding packaging and product inserts? So how can we make sure that we make the most out of using the packaging and inserts that we have? And there's so many different options how, and we can just get creative and innovative. So let's take a look at some different examples and how can we make the most out of it. So hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We have been discussing on Slack about different product packaging and inserts. So let's actually go through some ideas and tips in how to design effective product packaging and inserts. So the complete package and product inserts mean that these different kinds of cars you get inside the packaging. So let's see that what we are going to be covering today. So the elements of an effective packaging design, genius packaging samples, inserts, and packaging personalization, and then sustainability and environmental impact of the packaging, and then the guidelines that and programs that Amazon has for this packaging. But yeah, I mean, okay, well, what is an effective package design? And but actually, one thing I want to keep in mind is that since we want to we want to launch products as quickly as possible, and we don't want to put that much effort into launching, just to test out the product ideas. So actually one thing that we have been doing previously just to get how to get like impressive packaging for the test products is that we just used basically the same box and the same design. So whatever the product is, that we could basically use the same package for that. So that's one way how to kind of like cut corners and how to get even pretty good. How to get it like even impressive packaging even for the test product. But yeah, anyway, so functionality. So it should not only look good but also serve its purpose well. And one thing is that we want that people wouldn't just throw away the packaging and like immediately after they get it. So that means that when we need to do something special there. So we can do all sorts of cool ideas like functional and efficient design that just makes the product easier to use and just to transport the product. So and here's a good example, like, okay, you're not going to throw away because this is it just makes the use of the product much easier in this case, in this kind of cleaning. And one thing is being creative. So there's really no limit to what we can do, and it really comes down to creative thinking, and we can come up with ways how to really go beyond this conventional like packaging norms. So it's just that's definitely a good way how we can differentiate from everyone else. So we are all the time, like, the perfect product blueprint is based on the factor of the X factor, meaning that we have to have something special going on compared to all the competitors. And one way is the packaging. So okay, fine, let's say that we are all selling the same product as the competitors. We should add some kind of value there or some kind of add-ons or whatever. But let's say that we don't have that. But then we should consider that, okay, could we do some kind of packaging that would really make us stand out from all the competitors? So it's definitely this competitive advantage that we can do, and just making it convenient. So packaging should absolutely offer a convenience because it directly affects the customer experience. And the thing is that a product that is like really difficult or inconvenient can really be a turn off for customers. And one thing is that we have to consider is that, okay, what happens when they open the product packaging and get the product at their hands? Like, do they know how to use it, or do we need to give some kind of manual or instructions for them? And if we do, I mean, typically for many of the products we are going to provide some kind of instructions. Then there's another question is that how do we give the instructions for the customers? So do we have just like a separate piece of paper that they open up and read, or could we get more creative with it, and could we actually make it part of the product packaging and make it also like a fun way for educating him? Because I mean, let's face it, people don't read, and if they don't know how to use your product, I mean, there's pretty high likelihood that they will just give you a like 1-star review, which sucks because it basically has nothing to do with the product itself. It's just about like instructions, but instructions is a important part of the customer experience, the user experience. So we need to take that into considerations. And then definitely like sustainability. So meaning that we use materials that can be like eco-friendly and biodegradable, which not only helps the environment, but also appeals to these eco-conscious consumers, which is so important nowadays. So if you have this image of a eco-friendly brand, then that will definitely play to your advantage. And it has to be something that I mean, speaks to your target audience. So it's kind of like reflection of your brand's messaging. So make just the message visible to your target audience, even in your packaging. So, and there can be just many different ways, but this actually comes down to the, like, okay, what is our brand all about? And sometimes it takes quite a bit of effort to figure out that, I mean, okay, we are selling like workout equipment or whatever, but what is our brand really about? Like, what are we helping our the hero, meaning the customer, to do, to achieve? And it's too easy to say that, like, let's say that we sell some workout stuff. Yeah, we want the person to live a healthier and happier life and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, everyone else is saying that too. So how are we different? So if the story of our brand is not different, then it's just the marketing is just gonna seem so lame or tame. So it's much better to have like make strong statements and be something that creates more stronger emotions. Because the worst kind of brand is that if it doesn't taste, if it doesn't look like anything, if it's completely like has no blend at all, so then I mean it's going to be much more difficult for us to differentiate and all that stuff. So that's really where these tools like StoryBrand from Donald Miller and so on, they can really help. And yeah, I mean, branding is also about consistent, and we want to make it happen in the packaging itself. So I mean, the package should reflect the brand identity and be consistent with other marketing materials, meaning that what do we do inside the product listing on Amazon, meaning what kind of colors, fonts, logos, and other visual elements we use to really make it seem consistent and cohesive. Nice example how, I mean, just think about these products. I mean, butter or oranges. I mean, if you would have a like company that would sell this, I mean, some would say that I mean, it's just commodities. You're just selling like boring products. And could we argue with that? No, I mean, not necessarily, but that doesn't mean that we cannot make it more fun and entertaining and just become more brand that people will remember. Because let's say that you get this kind of packaging for oranges. I mean, odds are that you're gonna remember that. And if you do a good job in the I mean the packaging itself, meaning the labels or the text you write, I mean it can really have it can really be memorable. But here, I mean, in this example, I mean they are not doing really anything special in the labels itself. But if they would actually make some kind of use of that, then it would definitely make it more memorable. So it's not only about doing interesting stuff, but I mean also just make it memorable. And yeah, this tobacco packaging is funny. Like they could do this if they wanted people to stop using their products. Maybe if I mean nowadays, especially in the EU, I mean European Union wants to get rid of tobaccos pretty much. So if they actually if tobacco companies could do something to get more creative and get their customers to, I don't know, switch over to electronic cigarettes or whatever they are going to, it's actually going to be pretty interesting to see that what happens in these areas where the governments and the regulations is getting very tight and they want to get rid of cigarette products. So that's going to be interesting to see that what are these tobacco companies going to do in order to adapt and or in order to survive. So are they going to be launching like some kind of different products, or are they just kind of try to fight it and just like push cigarette products to the marketplace? I don't know. We will see. And this was excellent example. I think Osku shared this example on Slack. So this is so good because I mean this company, I mean they manufacture bikes. So it's a Dutch company, and they were suffering from shipping damages, meaning that the bikes were not really handled that delicately during shipping, which means that the customers received like defective bikes. And what happens then? I mean, of course, they're just gonna return them or complain on social media or whatever. So this company decided that, hey, let's try to fix this solution by modifying our packaging. So let's make our packaging look like that it would have a TV inside. So boom, immediately, I mean, these shipments were handled more delicately by the shipping companies or the shipping crew, shipping staff people. So they were able to reduce shipping damage by whopping 80%. And why? Just by making a pretty simple change in their packaging. And I don't know what the original packaging is, but maybe they even just added this label there, or I mean this design of the TV, and that was enough. And then, why do we need to have product inserts? Well, typically, I mean there are different kind of messages that we can have there, and it's also an opportunity to share some kind of message or capture the lead and so on. So one option is also this print a thank you note with the package to show the customers the appreciation and add a personal touch. But this thank you note, if you're doing a thank you note, I mean it doesn't have to be a product insert. I mean it could be just this. I mean what we have done with many products is that we actually printed on the packaging itself, meaning that once you open the package, you can see this thank you note already there. And then instructions. But one thing to consider is that like how much can you add in the actual packaging versus adding these different kinds of inserts because I don't know. I mean, sometimes, at least for me as a customer, it's annoying like when you open this product packaging and there's a million different these product inserts inside the packaging. I mean, I have had that like I was because there's one I think it was like 5 different cards or piece of papers, and that's just way too much. So we need to be uh, more focused, more effective in that way that we should ask ourselves that okay, what is it that we want our customers to do? So do we want our customers to check out our website? I mean, sign up to your list or do something. I mean, we should really be focused on the one thing. And actually, one thing that we also do is that I mean, we share these. I mean, for some of the products, it might be a bit. I mean, it's a bit complicated to like assemble those and everything. So what we do is that we also like share instructional videos and we give you a link that hey, watch these videos in order to assemble it, and then there we are able to capture like the customer information and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely something that you should consider doing as well. And people don't want to read, so it's much better if you give the information in a video format. That's much beneficial. And then, I mean, there's these coupons and promotions and whatnot, but here you need to take into consideration the rules of Amazon. So don't do anything that violates the terms of service. But I mean, you can always, it's allowed to ask feedback and nothing wrong with that. And same thing is that you could do like raffles with gift cards and stuff like that. But here it's super important to follow the rules of Amazon, right? And then different kinds of stickers, bookmarks, postcards, something that the customers can actually use or display. And I mean, you know, it's funny, like when you buy an Apple product, they give a sticker with pretty much every single, well, not every, but almost every product that you buy. It's kind of funny, like when you think about it, like this electronics company that are selling these items, like just consider that you buy like iPhone, you buy like high-end phone that can cost like several $1,000s, and they give you a sticker to go with it. It's pretty amusing, but I mean, why wouldn't we do the same thing and provide these different kinds of tools or whatnot, how to make the how they can actually, how the customers can also spread our message, and maybe it seems fun as well. Or maybe it could be some kind of postcard that they send to their friends, meaning that if, like, let's say our brand would be about working out or whatever, then we could do some kind of like funny postcard that would be some kind of entertainment. And if the point is that we want the customer just to mail it to their friend, but the thing is that if we cannot do it in a salesy way, meaning that hey, here's go buy, I just bought this company's products, I mean, you should go buy them as well. No, I mean, if we would do it like that, then of course, I mean, nobody would share it, nobody would really bother sending it to their friends. But if it's some kind of funny message, funny picture or whatever, and then we link it to our brand, then it can be really good type of branding. Yeah, but don't be cheesy, right? And then the sustainability and environmental impact, really choosing these materials that are like recyclable, biodegradable, and made from sustainable materials such as bamboo or recycled paper. That's super important nowadays. So what's really stopping us from doing something special inside. I mean, with this packaging, meaning that it's more about what do we print on these, and how about if we actually like fold it in a different manner, or we cut a hole in, or in some edge or whatever, just to make it more special and just to make it feel like cooler. But yeah, well, I mean, we are not shipping. I mean, when we are doing the funny thing is, like, I just ordered a bunch of products from Amazon, and like sometimes they send this massive, like, big package for a tiny item, and they seem to be doing that, like, um, oftentimes. But I mean, if you're using FBA, we cannot really control what Amazon sends to the customers. But if you would do the same thing, I mean, it definitely makes sense just to minimize it, because I know it also annoys some people when they receive like big box that has just this tiny item inside. For me personally, I mean, sure, I mean, I have more ways that I need to get this dispose of, but it's not really a big deal for me, at least. Yeah, I mean, then absolutely optimizing this packaging size. And like the funny example I told previously about one of our items, because it was on the yeah it it wasn't like in the standard side. It just went a bit over to the next one, and I remember, like, we kept asking the supplier that, I mean, can we just fold it somehow and make it smaller? And they kept saying no, 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 you can't. Until I don't know, after 6 months after asking, we kept just asking, and they said yes, it is possible to do. Like, no, actually it was the case that we asked them that, how about if we just fold it like this and do these kind of things, that, like, can we do this kind of packaging? And then they just said, yeah, sure. So by doing that, we were able to go to a smaller tier in the to the standard size, which means that our Amazon fee is like pretty much like drastically lowered, like, overnight. So that's definitely one good reason why to really optimize the packaging size, because you're going to be having like higher profits. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
I just wanted to ask that if the size of the package is affected, so the affects the price so much I mean that is yeah, if it's a very big package and then it's very small, then of course, but if it's, I don't know, if you change size of package, I don't know, 20%, 10%, and if it affects so much.
I mean, the thing is that you know, there's this I don't know, do we have it here? These tiers. Amazon has these tiers for the
Okay,
packaging
okay.
sizes.
Sorry for
So yeah. So our case was that the product were just over the limit, and that's why we were pushing the supplier that, I mean, come on, can we just make it a bit smaller? And they were all the time saying no, 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 it's not possible, until we actually came up with a solution and suggested that, hey, can we do this? And they said yes, this is possible to do. So then we were able to just to decrease the size a bit, so we were able to get to the smaller tier.
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
No worry. I mean, just ask questions if you have. Just everyone feel free to, like, interrupt and ask questions. So I mean, that's why we really want to get the packaging and everything as small as possible, to get to the smallest category that we can, to the smallest tier. Yes, and well, yeah, I guess nowadays it's all also about inks. So well, I mean, overall we need to be like eco-friendly, but the thing is that we can use it to our advantage, meaning that we just communicate this, that, hey, we are a responsible like brand. We take environmental issues like seriously and don't throw me away and that kind of stuff. So using these eco-friendly logos, icons on the packaging, and including this sustainability statement on the product pack. So that's definitely a good thing nowadays if you are seen as a responsible company, responsible brand that really cares about the environment. So absolutely, yes. Okay, let's look into these different regulations. So we were discussing some months ago about this EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility on Slack. So, I mean, this is a regulation in European Union that we need to take into consideration. So it basically just says that it's a regulation that says companies need to be responsible for the environmental impact of their products, including how they are disposed of. So that means, okay, there's some rules to follow then in environmental compliance. So that means that we basically need to get this EPR number, or then just use the services that Amazon is able to provide. So it basically, I mean, we just want to avoid these extra fees and paperwork. So it's about the materials and then packaging that just easy to recycle. But I mean, if you're already doing what we mentioned before about the eco-friendly packaging and that kind of stuff, then I mean, you're already in a like better situation. So yeah. But what this means is that we basically get this EPR number in the country in Europe, and then give that number to Amazon, and then just I guess there's kind of some kind of contribution regarding this. But at least so far, I mean, probably it's going to be I don't know about the timeline about this and how quickly it will become mandatory, and like what does it mean for when selling on Amazon. But this is just something that we need to consider, and that this is coming, and this might, I mean, it really depends on the product and the packaging, like so you need to consider take into consideration that how this compliance is going to impact your product in Europe. And then other kinds of requirements. Yeah, this General Product Safety Directive, I mean, it just means that the products are safe for consumers. And then again, it depends on the product and it's the safety classification. So thing is that if a product is classified as safe according to this General Product Safety Directive, then I mean, it may not require certain warnings or labels. So it just means that we need to comply with this thing as well, such as the appropriate like warnings, instructions, and then necessary certificates and approvals, and keeping records of like product safety information. And I think, like, in a way, I mean, it's actually a good thing that like at least like European Union is introducing these things, because yeah, I can imagine like how much how much harmful things there could be in the marketplace if there's no regulation. So I mean, in that sense, it's actually good that the market is introducing different kind of regulations and compliances to really make the products, I mean, make the markets so that it's just mainly offering like safe products and environmental friendly products and those kind of things. So I mean, in that way, I think, I mean, this is a good thing. So it just means that first of all, we need to be aware of these things, aware of these regulations and whatever, and then secondly, we need to make sure that our product matches the regulations, and then that we are compliant. Yep. So frustration-free packaging. I mean, this is a program Amazon started some years ago, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen it, but it's not really that impressive. So I mean, they designed it to reduce waste and enhance the customer experience by using easy to open 100% recyclable packaging, but we are not using it. But Amazon says that you can improve the product's visibility on Amazon and increase customer satisfaction, but I don't know, maybe it's just something to say. And I know that like some sellers who are using it, that they were saying that they didn't really see that big of an impact in anything. So I wouldn't necessarily do that. And then there's another program designed to reduce waste and packaging cost by allowing products to be shipped in their original manufacturer's packaging. So this is just a program to save money on packaging materials and shipping costs while also reducing the carbon footprint. So Amazon's packaging feedback, I mean, it provides these sellers on the feedback on the quality of the packaging based on customer reviews and returns. So it means that the feedback can help identify issues with the packaging and really make improvements to enhance the customer experience. But yeah, I mean, like we were discussing previously about the packaging requirements. So one thing is the tiers, and actually that's one of the most important things, because if you go above the limits and you end up in the next tier, then that means that your fees are just going to be higher. So to really like lower down the fees, it makes sense to really get as small packaging as possible to really so you don't end up in a bigger tier just because you didn't like fold it or package it like small enough. But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is just basic stuff. So I mean, you need to have the FNSQ and blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. And obviously we need to have the barcodes scannable and so on. Something that you should be doing anyway. But one thing is that, I mean, changes do happen. So that means that we just need to be certain. We need to be certain that we are still like following the rules, and we have up to date understanding of the rules and so on. And that's one reason, like why this is also about the mindset. So we should be, as entrepreneurs, just equipped in such a way that we are ready for change when it happens, and then we just adapt. So we shouldn't have this kind of mindset that I mean, nothing is ever going to change and this is just the way it is. No, I mean, instead we should really embrace change and be more willing that, okay, so there's a new regulation. So instead of complaining about the regulation, I mean, just figure out that what you need to do to really meet the regulation and requirements, and how to make the most out of it. So it basically comes back down to the responsibility process, meaning that you just focus on the things that you can impact, and you don't start like no need to complain or justify or whatnot. If you like this topic, then hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to get my help regarding selling on Amazon,